Hello everyone, I'm Luna from the Dyspraxia System, and today I want to talk about dependent personality disorder, or for short DPD. Now, it's something we are working on getting it professionally diagnosed, so this will also be from personal experience. I will go into the DSM-5 criteria, and the site I use for this will be linked in the description, so you can always read it yourself afterwards if you want to look more into it. People with dependent personality disorder need to be taken care of. There need to be taken care of results in loss of their autonomy and interest, because they are intensely anxious about taking care of themselves. They become excessively dependent and submissive, as the name of the disorder suggests as well. It is a cluster C personality disorder, and fewer than 1% of the general US population are estimated to have DPD. It is diagnosed more often in women, but in some studies, prevalence in men and women was similar. And comorbids are common. People often also have a depressive disorder, like major depressive disorder or persistent depressive disorder, an anxiety disorder, alcohol use disorder, or another personality disorder, for example, borderline or histrionic. We also have borderline, which we'll make another video about, but yeah. Information about the causes of DPD is limited. They think cultural factors, negative early experiences, and biologic vulnerabilities associated with anxiety are contribute to the development of dependent personality disorder. Familial traits such as submissiveness, insecurity, and self-effacing behavior may also contribute, but they don't really know. Now, the diagnostic criteria, there are 8 criteria in the DSM-5, and you only need 5 of those to be diagnosed with DPD. The first one is a persistent, excessive need to be taken care of, I think that should say, resulting in submissiveness and clinging. Wait. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Oh, no, sorry, that's not a criteria. But that is what needs to be shown. That's just overall what you need to show. I am sorry if you can hear the cat. He really wants attention, but if I let him in, he will just knock over the camera. So I'm not doing that. So if you can hear him in the background, I apologize. But yeah, you need to have a persistent, excessive need to be taken care of, resulting in submissiveness and clinging. And this can be shown through the 8 criteria that I'm going to list right now. And again, you only need 5 of those criteria to be diagnosed with it. First one being difficulty making daily decisions without an inordinate amount of advice and reassurance from other people. Now, this can be needing someone to tell you what clothes to put on. This can be needing someone to tell you to go shower, what to eat, when to go to the supermarket, just how to do your hair, how to do your makeup, any daily decision. And it can be that you need them to tell you exactly what to do, but it can also be that you make a decision. Like, for example, I make the decision to put on this necklace, and before I actually put on the necklace, I have to ask someone if it's in fact okay to put on the necklace. So it's either you need to be told what to do, or when you have made a decision, you need people to be like, yes, that's the right decision. We had that we went to shower today, and before we could calmly shower without any panic or anxiety, we needed someone to be like, yes, it's okay that you're gonna shower right now. So yeah, that's just one example of many. We also recently needed Loki's lover to pick out the outfit that we were gonna wear. So yeah, it's really difficult one, and it's with like it doesn't have to be out with every decision, but with like a lot of your daily decisions, which makes it really difficult. Then the second one, a need to have others be responsible for most important aspects of their life. So from what I know, this is like needing people to reassure you or help make decisions, like what house to buy, what study to do, what high school subjects to choose, what job to choose, like the more bigger decisions. You need other people to either make those decisions for you or really reassure you that it's the good decision, the right decision, that it's the okay decision, and that you won't get into trouble for making that decision. So the first one with small decisions. This one is with like the bigger decisions. Third one is difficulty expressing disagreement with others because of fear of loss of support or approval. So, for example, this is more towards people pleasing. So this is being like someone, for example, says, "Hey, let's go bowling." I don't know, for example, and you kind of don't want to. No, wait, that's a different one. This is like, they kind like a bit of it overlaps with like what is which one. This is like someone says, yes, it's this way, and you know it's not actually that way, but you are not gonna correct them because you fear that if you correct them, you will lose their support. They will stop loving you, they will stop approving, they will just completely get angry. Well, not necessarily angry, but like they can become angry, they can completely disagree with you, stop, like lose their approval completely. This for us manifests also in, for example, in class, when a teacher asks a question, just in general, and anyone can answer it in class. When we do know the answer and are like 80-90% sure that we're correct in our answer, we will still not put up our hand and be like, we know it, because we're afraid that we're wrong. Even though we're pretty sure we're not wrong, we're afraid that we're wrong and that we'll lose approval of the teacher and other students, for example. But yeah, this is just showing any kind of disagreement. We don't do that. We've learned with Loki's lover that we can do that. But even then it's really difficult still, and yeah, we really, really had to learn it, and even if we do, we double check that it's okay that we did that. So, really difficult one. The fourth one is the one that I almost started reading out. But that's difficulty starting projects on their own because they are not confident in their judgment and or abilities, but not because they lack motivation or energy. So we definitely have this still too. For example, writing a report, we will not start unless we know for sure what we need to put in it and like in which order we need to put it in the report. If we don't know what the structure of the report is supposed to be and what on the different aspects that we need to get into are, we cannot start. Because we'll be so afraid that we'll do it wrong. Or with labs, like with chemistry tests that we had to do at school, we would not be able to start mixing chemicals or operate the device that we had to work on unless we knew for sure that was what we needed to do. We would have like already the steps that we had to take, but if we weren't sure how to do one step, we would look at others and how they were doing it, or we would ask. And one time we had no clue how to do it because the steps we had listed were really unclear, and we just didn't want to keep asking people how to do it, and we didn't want the teacher to help us with every single bit, so we just got so overwhelmed that we literally left. We could not do it. We were so overwhelmed because the chance of disapproval of doing something wrong was way too high for us. We just got so overwhelmed that we left. We put it on autism dyspraxia back then, but we are like 99% sure that our autism diagnosis was misdiagnosed, DPD and BPD. So yeah, no, that one lab is definitely because of this. Number 5, willingness to go to great lengths, for example, do unpleasant tasks to obtain support from others. So this is really, really people pleasing. This is like the example that I was going to give earlier. When someone says, let's go bowling, and you don't want to go bowling, but like the entire group you're with wants to go bowling, then you'll go along with them anyway, because if you don't go, you're afraid you'll lose their approval, and even if you say something about it, you're afraid you'll lose their approval. But this can also be like ordering specific kind of food that the other people in the group want, but you don't want, just any kind of task that you don't like, but the other person really wants to, or like a group really wants to do, so you just go along with it, because you're afraid that if you don't, you'll lose their approval. You'll just be left alone, which is something you really don't want if you have DPD. Number 6, feelings of discomfort or helplessness when they are alone because they fear they cannot take care of themselves. Now, this is a funny one because we're alone right now, apart from the cat. And when we don't have to make decisions, well, not big decisions, just decision of what to watch or what to do to relax, it's okay, because then we don't have to think about the fact that we're alone. But when it comes to making decisions like, oh, I'm gonna shower, gonna put these clothes on, I'm gonna eat this for lunch, gonna eat this for dinner, but we can't do that. And another part of it, I don't know if that really plays into the symptoms specifically, but if we're alone, we're afraid that the people won't come back, that we'll be left alone forever. So we also need assurance that they are planning on coming back. Because if they weren't, we would really be helpless. I don't fucking know what to do for dinner. I can't make that decision. I don't even know if I'll be able to cook it right. I don't know how to lock up the house and stuff like that. It helps if people already make like a list of what we need to do when we're alone, because then we know that that's what we need to do, and if we do that, there's nothing that we do that will be wrong, or at least none of them majorly will be wrong. But yeah, we can feel discomfort and helplessness when we're alone. Seventh one is an urgent need to establish a new relationship with someone who will provide care and support when a close relationship ends. Now, when we first wrote this criteria, we thought it was only like romantic relationships, but this can go for close romantic relationships as well as platonic relationships. And this is something that will happen unconsciously. So let's say your best friend A, and you have a falling out, or you feel like they don't like you as much anymore. The contact that you have with them is lesser, so you get less improvement and validation from them as what you're used to. You'll unconsciously look for a new best friend B. You might still be talking to best friend A, but to get the validation and approval that you need, you go to best friend B. And this is something done unconsciously, but yeah, it is something that people with DPD can do. I think we also do, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, just go from one relationship if that looks like it's becoming less close, less intimate. You'll unconsciously start forming a new intimate relationship almost immediately, just because you need that constant validation, you need the constant reassurance. So you go from one friend immediately to the other. But in a romantic sense, you can also go from one boyfriend or girlfriend, lover, partner, immediately to another one. We don't have experience with that because the relationship that Loki has right now with their lover is the first relationship any of us has been in. And we don't see that falling apart anytime soon, if ever. So yeah, we don't know about the romantic part of it, but that is essentially what this criteria means. And then the last one is unrealistic preoccupation with fears of being left to take care of themselves. So this is like we have right now, we fear living alone later, because right now we still live with our parents and Aries Loki's lover's parents. We are deadly afraid. Well, deadly might be the wrong word, but we are deadly afraid of living on our own later. We know that at some point we'll have to, but if we were to be left alone completely, we're afraid we can't take care of ourselves. We're afraid that we won't eat, or if we eat, it will be really unhealthy, because that's what's happened in the past when we were left alone for a day or 2 days. We will be afraid that we can't look after the house properly. We'll be afraid that we can't do proper hygiene. We're afraid that we have no idea how to pay the bills and stuff like that. Just every part of living on your own that means you have to be independent scares us. Now, right now, if we do get our own apartment or a house, it will be together with Loki's lover. So if they are there with us, it scares us less. But then the moment where we'll have to be alone because they're on a trip or something like that still scares us. We just don't believe that we can take care of ourselves. And then also all of these symptoms, so all of these 8 symptoms must have begun by early adulthood. So they can't start being a thing when you're like 25. It needs to happen end of puberty, begin adolescence, adulthood. So I think that means somewhere between 13, 14 and like 19, 20 maybe. Somewhere in between those ages. Don't quote me on the ages specifically, but that's what I think is meant by early adulthood. It says early adulthood specifically, it doesn't say ages, but I think that means like somewhere between 13, 14 and like 18, 19, 20. Somewhere in between there, the symptoms need to first manifest. Or at least must have begun by then. So yeah. And in case this might also be interesting, is that several other personality disorders are characterized by hypersensitivity to rejection. However, they can be distinguished from dependent personality based on characteristics features, as well as for borderline. It can be differentiated because patients with borderline are too frightened to submit to the same degree of control as patients with dependent personality disorder. Patients with borderline personality disorder, unlike those with dependent personality disorder, vacillate between submissiveness and ritual hostility. So they go in between those. We do, like we said, we also have borderline most likely, and we also do feel rage sometimes, but I'll keep it internalized, because if we feel like if we let it out, people will disapprove. So that's how they can correlate together. But yeah, and then to differentiate dependent personality disorder and avoidant personality disorder, patients with avoidant personality disorder are also too frightened to submit to the same degree of control as patients with dependent personality disorder. Patients with avoidant personality disorder withdraw until they are sure they will be accepted without criticism. In contrast, those with dependent personality disorder seek out and try to maintain relationships with others. So I don't know too much about avoidant personality disorder, but what I think what I mean is like people with dependent personality disorder will really go into like people pleasing. So even if they're not sure that people will like them, they will try to do their best to make people like them. And people with avoidant personality disorder need to know for sure that they'll be accepted and that the people like them before they interact with them. I think, don't fully quote me on that, because like I said, I don't know too much about avoidant personality disorder. That's just what I think they mean. And then to differentiate dependent personality disorder with histrionic personality disorder, patients with histrionic personality disorder seek attention rather than reassurance, as do those with dependent personality disorder. But they are more... I'm sorry, someone is home right now, so I switched locations. I'm just gonna quickly wrap this up. As I was saying, people with histrionic personality disorder are more they seek attention rather than reassurance. They are more disinhibited. They are more flamboyant and actively seek attention. Those with dependent personality disorder are self-effacing and shy. So people with histrionic personality disorder, I think, want to be in the spotlight more, while people with dependent personality disorder rather be in the shadows, just doing people's bidding, and people pleasing. So yeah, as I said, I will link the resource in the description so you can look into it more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or whatever, leave them down below in the comments. If you want to follow us on social media, that's in the description. If you want to see more of our videos, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when we upload a new video. We upload every Wednesday, and we'll see you on the next video.